Hello, my name is Yolanda Adrianza, and I am a fourth year Bachelor's of Education student, fourth and final year, hopefully. I am not, however, new. I first completed my diploma in grade art teaching. My teaching journey has definitely been one of growth, challenges, and incredible learning experiences that have shaped me as a teacher. In my first year, I truly felt like a novice teacher. I was nervous to begin, and the idea of completing my degree felt like a mountain standing ahead of me. I was blessed with very calm and supportive mentor teacher, especially the first one. She often reassured me using words like, "You've got this, don't worry." She patiently talked me through decisions in the classroom, from seating arrangements to project planning. Her calm approach definitely influenced my own teaching style. I began to understand that classroom management is not only about control, but also about creating a safe and structured environment. My mentor even opened up about her salary to me, the kind of salary that I could expect, even letting me know what she was getting, what she started at, how many years experience she has in and would need in order to get to where she maybe would where she is. And this gave me valuable insight into the realities of the profession, where if you are in a pre-educare or creche, the salary is obviously lower, and where you move to a primary school, then the salary obviously bumps a little bit more, and if you're going into private schooling, then the salary even bumps a little bit more. um, the school that I was at was a private school for my first year. And the private school culture of small classrooms allowed for meaningful one on one interactions, not only with myself and students, but also with my mentor and students. However, the lack of assistance taught me that teachers need to be both independent and resilient. There was no help, it was only her, and then me when I was there. Since this was also a career change for me, I was in real estate. I was an administrator in real estate for 7 years, and this is now my career change. I often felt like the tortoise starting off very slow and steady in a race. Being a distance learning student also meant that I was frequently searching for extra help and clarity, always asking questions. But I found comfort in the WhatsApp groups created by our lecturers, where fellow students could support one another. This saved me many a time. Through it all, I have to also say that my husband's continuous love and support kept me going. Passing my first teaching practice gave me a small but important boost of confidence, helping to settle my nerves for the years ahead. Continuing on to my second teaching year, I completed this at a former Model C school. The school was very well resourced, but it was run more like a business. It had a director instead of a principal, and every request, even something as small as an extra pencil, had to be motivated. My mentor teacher explained how frustrating this was at times, and how many teachers then simply decided to buy their own stationery instead of going through all of the hoops needed for something so simple. The school's business-like culture shaped my understanding of resource accountability. Of course, if the school's paying for it, someone needs to make sure that there always is, and we need to know where it's going. While this also highlighted the need for creativity and adaptability in teaching. This worked well because during our practical, our lessons, during all of our modules, most of the resources that we needed for our assignments needed to be created by us. So that honestly forced us to be creative, to be resilient, to be resourceful, and actually find different ways to make certain things. Although my mentor teacher was clearly overworked, she remained deeply committed to her learners. This modeled for me the importance of staying focused on the learner, even when the system feels overwhelming. This really showed that if you remember why you're doing it, it honestly didn't matter what was happening. The workload felt heavier in my second year as well, especially as I balanced my job with essays, portfolios, presentations. At times, I felt like I was drowning, and teaching practice was sometimes overshadowed by the pressures of other academic responsibilities, other modules, other essays and assignments. So it always felt like it was a little bit, almost too much. Almost. Still, I built a strong relationship with my mentor, and on my last day, she actually told me that she was sad to see me go, and she thanked me for all of the extra help, which gave me another little bit of a confidence boost, letting me know that I was doing something right. Year 3 was perhaps the most eye-opening. We had 2 placements in year 3, one at an LSAN school, special needs school, and then one at a normal, a normal school, quote unquote. My first week, I was at my LSAN school. My mentor teacher there, she was incredible. She was kind. She was graceful. She taught me that compassion is just as important as structure. Her example influenced me to focus on empathy and to relay that empathy on a student by student basis. So not everybody's the same. Here, I was also shown to look beyond the behavior in order to understand the child's needs. One of the students would draw all of these very dark images, but it was his own insecurities. So it was beyond the behavior that we had to look. The LSAN school was an immense and intense experience. The school was large, there were lots of security, there were lots of structure. Students coming in needed to walk on a certain end, students leaving needed to walk on the opposite end in the opposite direction. But little things like that. Within 1 week, I witnessed learners attempting to hurt not only other children, but teachers, facilitators, and in my last few days, one of the learners even attempted to hurt himself. Despite these challenges, I felt supported and I was able to make, I felt, small but meaningful contributions. For example, I was able to help a learner named Ezra during his panic attack, where he just felt like his heart was about to explode and there was honestly no ration behind it. He even had a little counter on his wrist to count his heartbeat. So I was able to help him. I was able to keep him focused until the school psychologist actually made it there. After this, I moved to the primary school where I did the rest of my teaching prep. And this primary school I was at was actually part of a larger group. So also maybe a little bit more business-like in its culture. Unfortunately, the experience was very different to my first and second years, even with the LSAN. The principal, who was pregnant at the time, often treated student teachers as free labor. So we were told to do everything she asked, no matter what, even if it meant washing dishes, which did happen a few times. Parents and learners were treated as if they could do no wrong. And I witnessed a few staff meetings where teachers were openly lectured and even diminished based on what these parents and learners were saying to the principal. One learner even claimed that the Afrikaans exam was designed as a bullying tactic. when I heard it, I thought this was a little bit ridiculous. This was a grade 1 learner, and unfortunately both parents and principal utterly agreed. During my final week, I also saw a teacher resign, saying that she could no longer work under such conditions. This experience showed me what happens when a school's culture does not support its teachers. Witnessing a high staff turnover was also something that my mentor teacher relayed to me. So I knew then that this school in particular had a very high staff turnover. It was the lack of respect for me. It was the lack of commitment to their teachers, and where we needed the collaboration and the respect, and teachers needed to be valued in order to actually stay. On a personal level, I also struggled with a little bit of depression going through year 3. And this was obviously linked to my job. I was not happy where I was, even though I was in it for so long. I wanted a career change, and I felt like the tortoise, trying to get to the end, hoping for a shortcut, honestly. And this is when my husband actually encouraged me to apply for a teaching assistant position at a preschool, kind of in the meantime. And I had my diploma in grade art teaching, so I could, and that is where I am now. And I love my school, I love my kids. I honestly really enjoy being within the career that I am trying to develop for myself. That role, my role, reminds me every day of why I choose to be a teacher and why I love what I do every day, no matter the 5 o'clock wake ups and the travel time, why I love it every day. Now, in year 4, I am preparing for my final teaching block, and this will be at a public school. And this, based on my past experience, I do expect the teachers and the principal, all the staff, to actually really be very welcoming. I've only had that one bad experience. They were welcoming, they just were a little toxic, unfortunately. So everybody's always been very welcoming. Since the school is in an affluent area, I don't anticipate resource issues, but I do expect larger class sizes, just in general, as it is a public school. This will also be my final year, and for the first time it feels like the end goal is truly in sight. The mountain that was in the first year is now looking like a small little hill that is an easy jog. Sorry, I'm getting emotional. It's an easy jog, just like over the horizon. So looking back, I no longer feel like, so sorry, I no longer feel like the tortoise nervously beginning a slow race. Instead, I feel like the tortoise who has earned her victory, and with perseverance and determination and resilience and love and support from all sides. My journey as a teacher has been filled with challenges and success and invaluable moments, and it continues to be. And this shapes me every day and teaches me every day in the teacher I want to be. That's it. Thank you.